If you have not had the chance to apply for assistance yet, you might want to do so. Nikki Gaskins Campbell with FEMA is joining me now to talk us through what we need to know about applying. Hey, good morning, Nikki.
Hey, Haley.
So first, it's been 3 months since here in Houston we were impacted by Hurricane Beryl. How has FEMA stepped in? Let's first talk about what you've been able to do for residents here in the recovery process.
Well, we were here right when Hurricane Beryl made landfall because, as you probably remember, we were here responding to the tornadoes that hit a few months earlier. To date, I can tell you that we have distributed approximately $754 million in the form of grant money that goes directly to disaster survivors. And that has gone to about 700,000 households here in Texas. This is grant money that does not have to be repaid. It is designed to be used for your recovery. And I'm glad that you have me on because, again, it's hard to believe that this hurricane made landfall back in July. We are now in October, several months later, and we do have that deadline approaching. So it's so critical that if people have not applied yet for FEMA assistance, to please do so because they could very well be leaving money on the table.
So there is still money left? I mean, I think a lot of people think, oh, they don't have enough to claim or something like that, you know?
Yeah, so we hear a lot of different things out there. And as you know, there is a lot of misinformation that is on the internet, on social media, and the communities. And sometimes, let's face it, even in the news, unfortunately. We want to reassure people in the state of Texas that there is enough funding available to help them if they need it. You have to be eligible, and of course, you have to apply. So we want people to be mindful of that because, again, we have that October 10th deadline. There are a couple of ways that people can reach us. We're trying to cross all our T's and dot all our I's. Obviously, the quickest way to see if you're eligible for disaster assistance or check on the status of your application is to visit us at one of the disaster recovery centers in Texas. We still have many open. Even after the deadline, we will have disaster recovery centers open. So please go see us. You have to understand that obviously with Helene, also with Milton, we have so many people calling our 1-800 number. That, of course, is an option, but we want people to be mindful that there could be a delay, a wait if they call that number. So we have FEMA staff there at these disaster recovery centers. They can find find the nearest one by going to FEMA.gov/DRC, and you can go to the nearest DRC that you see on our website, and our staff will be more than happy to help you. We are open at these disaster recovery centers Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. We are closed on Sundays, but we want people to be mindful that we are still here very much helping the disaster survivors in Texas.
So because of these other disasters that are currently happening in Florida, then is it best to register in person instead of calling the 1-800 number?
That would be my recommendation. Of course, like I said, we want to cross all our T's and dot all our I's. We understand that there may be people who cannot get out to a disaster recovery center for whatever reason. Maybe they don't have a vehicle. Maybe a medical condition is preventing them from doing that. But we do offer that, and I personally do recommend that because that's going to be the quickest way to get help. But just know you can call that 1-800 number. It's 1-800-621-3362. Again, 1-800-621-3362. We just want people to have some patience because a lot of people will be calling that number. We have people in other states affected by Hurricane Helene and other disasters before Helene that will be calling that number too. So just be patient. And another quick way is we have disasterassistance.gov. You can go online to disasterassistance.gov to register as well. So all of those couple of ways will get you right to us.
Tomorrow is also the deadline for people to apply for the Small Business Administration disaster loan. Who would be eligible for a type of loan like that?
So I really can't speak to the SBA, but because I'm obviously FEMA, but I will say they are such a big part of the puzzle when it comes to recovery. For the sake of managing expectations, I like to say that FEMA is a piece of the puzzle. We are certainly not the entire piece. It takes the state, it takes the local officials, it takes the communities, the nonprofits, the houses of worship, all of us working collectively together to help disaster survivors on their road to recovery. Whereas we're typically are focused more on short-term needs. SBA, as you mentioned, they're a huge partner, and they also help disaster survivors as well, in addition to businesses, and they are focused more on the long term. So we're all working together to help disaster survivors continue to recover from Hurricane Beryl. And it's important to know that once October 10th is here, we're now October 11th, we don't want people to assume, because we had this with the tornadoes when they came through, that, okay, FEMA's now leaving Texas. That is not accurate. We're actually going to have disaster recovery centers and our staffing still here well past the deadline. Our disaster recovery centers, I could tell you, some of them will be open through the end of this month. So we want people to come out and see us and take advantage of that and do it obviously before the deadline. Time is ticking. You want to go ahead and get the application in, because you could very well be leaving money on the table. It is important to know that your insurance will always be your first line of defense. But if your insurance can't cover everything, we may be able to fill in some of those gaps.
Okay. My apologies for mixing up the SBA, but Nikki, hey.
Oh, you're good.
It's been a long time since you and I were baby reporters in South Carolina today.
I know. This is deja vu. This is like literally like first time I've talked to you in person since you left Charleston and abandoned me.
It is, but it's good to see you again. Thanks for the hard work that you're doing with FEMA. Appreciate it.
You too. Thank you.